It is another great day on the African Portal Radio TV International coming to you live and direct from our pictorial studio here in South Africa. Join us as we are putting on the spotlight one of the great women of our time. This is Mental Health Sunday with Pastor Mrs. Toyin Asaju live on the African Portal Radio TV International. Join us as we talk about your mental health. Tag, speak out. Kindly watch, share. Call the studio number for more information on +27787033584. For your questions, send it to us as well. We will definitely respond to it. Join us, watch, share, like as I welcome the great woman of God to talk to us. This is what she knows how to do best, and this is our profession. She will advise you, talk to you about your mental health. What do you know about it? What is mental health? Let's enjoy this hour on the African Portal Radio. Thank you and God bless you. Ma, it is your turn. I hand over the microphone to you. Kindly go ahead and deliver the message of the Master.
Wow. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate this. It's been a long time coming. Our viewers on Facebook, very soon, our viewers on Instagram and Twitter and all social media platforms. Very soon, they're going to join us. This is our debut program. This is our debut program from KOA Foundation. And we are here to talk about how is your mental health. KOA Foundation is an NGO, a charity, if you call it, that specializes in supporting people, raising hope for the less privileged, the vulnerable. And it is a project which I pioneer. As you can see me, I'm wearing my KOA Foundation cap. And KOA means Kofo Rola Oluwani Asaju Foundation. It's coined out of my name, and we started this great work about 8 years ago. We started, and slowly, we came in, and we became recognized, first in UK, then in Nigeria, then in US, globally. We have been recognized, and we are doing great works to support people. We're collaborating, and I just decided to make mental wellness, mental health my passion. And they always say, he who the caps fit, let him wear it. For a long time, I've been 17 years, I've been in ministry with my husband, and I never felt led even to do anything. I wasn't led, or I didn't really feel that space, to engage in any form of activity that I could really call my own. And I waited patiently, prayerfully and thoughtfully and reflectfully. I was thinking to myself, where do I really think help is needed? Where do I think I can contribute my expertise? And apart from being in ministry, I am a healthcare professional. I work, in the healthcare profession. And I do a lot of things. I pioneer a lot of projects. I work with people, both old and young, mothers, babies, families generally. And I just fell in love with the concept of, mental wellness and awareness. And this is an area that is so large, and research and all kinds of resources have been contributed to explore the issue of mental wellness, mental health. And even though in the developed countries, the first world countries, they're doing a lot, but are we still getting it right? Are we getting it right at all? Um, it's been a slow progress, I would say. But as it is right now, a lot is still being committed to it, because it's mental wellness is hot on the platforms. It's hot on, it's hot in Department of Health, it's hot in UNICEF, it's hot in United Nations, it's hot globally. And because I am first and foremost a Nigerian before a British, I believe that a lot more resources should be committed into mental wellness and mental health in Africa, especially in Nigeria, which is my own country of birth. I follow the news a lot. I follow the newspapers, the print media, the electronic media, and the social media, just to get information with regards to what is happening, in the space of mental health, mental wellness, mental illness, because mental health is broad, is wide, and it is a state, is actually, by definition, dictionary definition, mental health is an umbrella, whereby we use to talk about things like mental illness, mental well-being, and look at various conditions and areas where anything that has to do with neurological balances, mental health balances, and generally anything that has to do with mental wellness, neurological brain wellness. And it's such a pity that not until recently, where a lot of health promotion, a lot of, a lot of people, renowned people, important people have come out to share their story with regards to mental illnesses, mental well-being, and different things that happened to them. Not until then did attention began to be, placed, attention began to be given to anything that has to do with mental wellness. I, for one, I was just a novice like that, even though a healthcare professional. I remember when I was in South Bank University and University of Greenwich, and I was doing researches both in, masters and public health, and I didn't pay much attention until I found myself in a dire situation where I needed to focus on mental wellness. And this is what gave birth to this project by KOA Foundation, which I've come to give a brief about today. And we'll be running weekly Sunday programs on how is your mental health? How is your mental health? You know, it's been a long time that I have been trying to do this. I would start, I would drop it, I would start, I would drop it. And for a lot of people who follow the platform of Christ Apostolic Church, City of David, you would notice that we normally do a program, you know, every third Sunday of the month, which we tag Health Sunday. And this program was running, you know, concurrently, and we were bringing renowned people to talk about several issues. If you go onto our Facebook page, onto YouTube, you will see some of those programs, those Health Sunday programs. But I felt that was not enough because we were scraping it on the surface. I wanted to devote a whole 15 to 30 minutes, you know, to go deeper into mental wellness. And this program, you know, is something I've prayed about, and I have decided to, you know, set the ball rolling. And the courage was given to me both by God and to people that, you know, have approached me and said, you know what, we need this in this time. People are really going through a lot. And through last week's program on African Portal, we decided to like test the waters to see how we can really, you know, cover and release information to people. So, how is your mental health today? How do you feel? If anybody were to approach you, what would you say? Mental wellness, as I said initially at the beginning, is there are so many different parts of the body. If you look at the anatomical and the physiological, you know, description of a man, let's look at anatomy. We talk about the respiratory system of man. We talk about, you know, the skeleton. We talk about the heart. We talk about the legs. We talk about the arms. We talk about the kidney, the liver. We talk about different aspects of the body. And because this we can see, you know, if you have a broken leg, you can go to the hospital to fix it. If you have orthopedic problems with your eyes, you can go, you see the doctor and they touch it and they feel it. But what happens when you have a problem with your brain? When your brain is tired, when your brain is stressed, when your brain can no longer function because you've carried a lot of stress, a lot of trauma, you're going through a lot of life issues that have hit you. Whether we like it or not, any human being that is alive, any human being that is breathing, any human being that is able to like open their eyes, even if they can't open it because they are blind, once you have the breath and you are able to carry out the functions of a human being, then your brain is alive. And you know what? The brain does get sick. Oh yes, because the brain is an organ. Just like your kidney is an organ, your digestive system is an organ, your stomach, your heart, you know, your large intestine, your small intestine, name it, your spine, every organ of the body must function. So therefore, if they must function, they can also get sick. And the brain does get sick. And that is why you have what we call mental illness, when the brain gets sick. And you know what? This area has been so silent. It's been a silent killer to many people. It's been a silent killer to both old and young. It's been a silent killer in the world we are today. And no one is free of it. There are sometimes they will say, oh, you know what? So illness is an illness of posh people. Or so illness is an illness of poor people. But you know what? Mental illness does not distinguish between rich or poor. That is why we have to talk about how is your mental health with a question mark. When you go and see your doctor, either your GP or a doctor that specializes in a particular condition, they tick the boxes. You know, they can do the Edinburgh mental health scale, which we use, that has been researched. And even if they're treating you or, clocking you for a different type of condition, now it is mandatory that they look at your mental well-being, your state of mind, because every other illness that individuals might be going through or anyone might be going through can actually affect your mental wellness. Imagine someone that's been diagnosed with cancer and you sit down in front of, the consultant, and you are diagnosed with maybe with cancer of the pancreas, and they tell you you have just 2 years to live. Obviously, as you are receiving that news, it does something to your mental health. And it puts you in a position, it puts you in a vulnerable state of what we call fight or flight. And then maybe you get anxious, anxiety sets in, fear sets in, and it can lead you to depression. So there are so many types of mental illnesses that people do come about through different things, through different situations, through different issues of life. And in doing justice to this topic, we have itemized, we have, looked at various areas where our viewers can benefit, so as not to make it boring, so as not to make it, too long, or, so as not to make it something that is not real. Over the course of this program, whenever we stream on Sundays, we will be bringing people who are scholars, who are professionals, to talk about different areas of mental well-being. Some will capture and talk about diagnosis, different kinds of mental illness that people suffer and how it comes about, maybe like depression, anxiety, panic attack, things like schizophrenia, bipolar disorders, so many types of mental problems that affect the brain, stress-induced psychosis, drug-induced psychosis, But even if we're going to look at some of these illnesses, how do they come about? What leads someone to a state where they will suffer that kind of mental illness? Brethren, our viewers, many people go through stresses, life problems, situations that are triggered, by events in their life. And as you know, we are all wired differently. Human beings, as creatures of God, we are wired differently. And what do I mean by that? What I can cope with, my sister might not be able to cope with it. My brother might not be able to cope with it. What my husband can cope with, I might not be able to cope with it. What my first son is able to cope with, my first daughter might not be able to cope with, because we're all made as individuals. We're all wired differently. What makes us up is different. And we need to come and start realizing that, and stop thinking that, as a man, buckle up. Men don't cry. Men don't get depressed. Men don't suffer anxiety. Men don't suffer, mental breakdown. Or men are not supposed to, be seen weak. Because a lot of people, especially in Africa, in Nigeria, where I come from, they have tagged it. They have this tagging for men that, men must not cry. A man must always be strong. And that's why research has spoken and has told us, evidence-based research, that the rate of suicide in men is higher than that of women. According to the Department of Health statistics, which I was going through in 2022, statistics on the rate of suicide here in England, you would not believe it. The rate for men who commit suicide is about 50%, while the rate of women is about 15%. So what are we saying? When I went deeper and I read scholarly reading, we discovered that the reason why the rate for women is low is because women speak up. Women speak up, they access health. They speak up and they get help at the right time. But men do not go and access help. And we'll be looking at this question, why suicide ideation? Why suicide? A lot of mental illnesses, they lead to suicide ideation because it gets to a point where, the brain there's a lot of chemical imbalance in the brain that leads to suicide ideation. And when you are overwhelmed with those stressors, those trauma, when you just feel like, there's no way out, your brain is telling you there's no way out. You are bound to see, but not see. Your eyes are open, but they are not open. And that's when you get to that space where you start thinking ending it all is the right way. Ending it is the right way. And at that point, when you don't have support, when you don't have someone who is there to give you a shoulder to lean on, when you don't have the courage to speak up, it's so easy to fall off the cliff. It's so easy for those voices speaking to you, those voices of hallucination, those voices that are telling you there is no hope, you are a failure, you can never make it, you've lost it all. Those voices, if you don't speak up, they become stronger. They become stronger. They take over you. They take over your mind. They take over your identity. They take over your space. It's possible for you to live in a home where there's so many people, to be surrounded by love, and you can still be lonely. It's possible to be in a house where, you're there with your husband, your children, your relatives, and you're not mentally there. That's why you see a lot of people who are like maybe celebrities, film stars, globally all over the world. They have so much wealth. They have so much money. They are rich in, pounds, in dollars. They are rich in whatever hard currency. But you know what? They are not wealthy in wellness. They are not rich in their mental wellness. That is why a lot of them cope with drugs. A lot of them cope with alcohol. That's why they always say the rich also cry. And at times they will tell you that money, it does not answer all things. Money does not make you happy, because there's always that space in mental well-being, in mental health, in mental illness. There's that space that answers need to be gotten to questions. Professionals help. And even at times when you go to professionals, you go to shrinks, you go to psychiatrists, consultants, doctors, healthcare professionals in the space of mental wellness and well-being. Out of 5 of them, I stand tall to tell you that when you are before them, they will ask you, are you a person of faith? Do you belong to a faith, like a religion? Do you have some supernatural powers that you believe in? God, whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, you are Hindu, whatever religion, they will ask you, because they themselves know that faith plays a very important role in mental wellness. So today, our dear viewers, we're just breaking the ice. We're telling you that there's a space here on Facebook every Sunday to come and learn. And if you are not able to join us live, you can join us maybe after the program. You can go back and hear what will be said. Listen to a recorded version and put your questions, put your contacts, anything that you feel, you can gain from this program or contribute. Very soon, during the program, we'll be having our lines opened where people can call in and talk about or seek help, encouraged to be able to voice out and learn more about how they can manage their mental, health, how they can manage themselves to have optimum mental wellness. Little things can trigger a person's mental health, a person's mental well-being. I mentioned earlier, stress of family life, stress of not being able to conceive, stress of finances, not able to pay your rent, not able to feed your family. Yeah, men too go through a lot of stress, even as breadwinners. They have a lot of responsibility on their head. At times, they are not able to share, even with their wife. When they look at their pocket and there's no money there, and you have to pay school fees for children, you have to, put food on the table, you have to pay the rent. Yeah, a lot of rich people go through stress. A lot are owing banks. A lot, maybe their businesses, due to financial crunch, due to, global austerity or hard times, the stock market fluctuating or crashing, it affects their business. People who have reached the pinnacle, the height of their career, and all of a sudden, either they are being fired or things are not just working out fine. Business collapsing, or you're struggling in your identity, especially teenagers. We do a lot of work with teenagers. Personality, identity crisis, drugs, alcohol, so many things that can lead to mental illnesses. We want to go down into the root and tackle. Enough of labeling, a lot of stigmatization, especially among Africans. We say no to suicide ideation. That is not the last resort. Taking your life is not the right result, is not the end result. There's help out there. There are resources out there. I that am speaking, I have my story. And in the course of this program, we are going to be bringing people who have beat it. And when I say beat it, people who are survivors, people who have gone through depression, who have gone through mental illnesses, who have had low times in their life and almost went the way of ending it all. We'll bring them to come and share their story. How did I get to where I am? How did I seek help? Who did I meet in my journey that God used to give me hope? How did I come out of it? What strategies? What professional help did I get? What therapy did I undergo? What kind of counselor came my way? I know it's a very lonely road. And when you are passing through mental illness, when you're struggling with your mental health, a lot of people desert you. People that you don't even expect. People that you're shocked. Yeah, they cast aspersions on you. They label you, they stigmatize you. They talk about you. But you know what? Let them talk. Let them desert you. Let them stigmatize you. The end justifies the means. When you finally beat that illness, when you finally come out stronger, they will be ashamed. And not only do you come out stronger, God gives you a platform to tell your story and encourage others. You become, an authority in this area. Join me next week when we will be bringing an important personality, someone who is an authority in this area, to speak to us and do justice on this issue of mental wellness, mental health, and how is your mental state today. I remain KOA, Koforola Oluwatoyin Asaju, the pioneer of KOA Foundation, raising hope for the hopeless, raising hope for women, raising hope for sufferers of mental illness. Mental health is important. Mental wellness is optimum. And mental illness is real. As our people say, depression is real. Suicide ideation is real. But you know what? You can get help. You can overcome it. You can survive it. Let nobody tell you it's the end of the road. Don't listen to those strange voices that telling you that suicide is the way out. No. That's why we are here, to support you. If you look online at my page, Toyin Asaju, you will find contacts there. You can email, you can DM me, you can come and speak to me. I've made myself available through this platform, KOA Foundation. You can go to our website, you find phone numbers there, you find email where you can just click on and you can send your number. We'll contact you. Our team work very well and they are very supportive in signposting you and talking to you with regards to mental wellness. Everyone deserves to be heard. Everyone deserves to speak up. Your mental health is important. Until I join you next week with our speaker, a professional in this area, a professor, an academic professor who has taken mental health as a passion and who knows a lot about it. He will be educating us and telling us how to get help and how people come about this state of mental illness, what contributes to it, and how you can seek help concerning it. I remain your host, Oluwatoyin Asaju, and I'm also using this medium to thank the pioneer of African Portal for making themselves available and also supporting this project, which we're embarking on. Thank you so much for giving us your time, for giving us your platform, and see you next week on How is Your Mental Health? Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much. I hope you have a very good conversation and you have a very good time. Thank you, Ma. I celebrate you and I really appreciate the great work you are doing across the globe. Everyone joining us, please kindly go to all the social media, put the name there, you will find them there. This is the great time on the African Portal Radio TV International. Join us again next week. It's going to be a great time. As the woman of God already mentioned, a professor will be coming to be part of this conversation next week. Till then, Have a very great week ahead of you. God bless you. Goodbye, everyone. Bye for now.
Bàbá tó rẹlẹ́ nítorí